Hello, beautiful people. Today I want to talk about anxiety and depression and how this potentially is overwhelming and consuming you, your mental health, your emotional health, your life, your relationships, your ability to be a parent, your ability to be a friend, partner, to work. So anxiety can be crippling, right? If we have experienced it, if you have experienced it, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I have experienced anxiety and depression pretty much around the same time, panic attacks, struggling to just do the basics in life and pushing myself through the fear every single day in order to move through and eventually heal. But I wanted to speak into what my partner John from Introspect also talked about yesterday, which was antidepressants, and how they can be an amazing bridge for us to get through that real hard stage where everything is just so all-consuming. And that's what I did. I took the lowest dose for the shortest amount of time. I think 6 months I was on them for. And it just took the edge off so that I could actually get myself a job, find a sense of purpose, build on my self-esteem, learn how to use my breath to breathe through those moments of extreme anxiety, and essentially learn to trust, because anxiety is fear. Anxiety is usually fear of the future or an intense worry of what is going to happen. So I've talked about this before. We have 7 seconds before another like-minded thought will attach to a thought. So if we have a negative thought of worry, it's 7 seconds before another like-minded thought will attach to that, and another and another and another. And if we let it go, it's going to be like a fucking bullet train. Yeah. And it's really hard to stop it once it kind of snowballs, right? So trust is the biggest thing when it comes to anxiety. So learning about our fears. What are we truly afraid of? And is it real? Or is it something that's been either A, programmed into us, passed down through generational ancestral lines? Is it a trauma response to something that's happened to us in the past? Is it from our childhood even? So, probably 99% of the world has suffered from or suffers from anxiety in some way, shape or form. And a lot of my clients that come to me call it my anxiety, which when I hear this language, I pull them up on it straight away and I ask them to reframe that to the anxiety. Okay, because as soon as we claim it as ours, our words have so much power. My anxiety has a very different energy to the anxiety. That anxiety is just something that exists potentially outside of me. My anxiety is something that I own, it is mine, and it's forever with me kind of thing. And this is really, really damaging. Okay, so if you are someone that suffers from anxiety, please reframe. If you notice that you say my anxiety, please reframe it to the anxiety, first and foremost. How I overcame anxiety was actually quite different to how I would heal anxiety, because it is able to be healed. Everything is able to be healed if we believe it is. And as soon as a doctor or a medical person or even your frickin' nana tells you that you have this, and you're going to have this for your whole entire life if you believe that to be true, and so it is. If you believe that you can heal yourself, and so it is. Healing anxiety is taking our power back and learning how to trust. Anxiety usually resides in the stomach. Either the upper stomach, which is the solar plexus, which makes sense because it's our I am center, it's our willpower, it's our sense of self. And when our sense of self is diminished, our self-esteem, we're plagued by self-doubt, of course this center is going to be either blocked or spinning the wrong way. This is an energy wheel center. This is our empowerment as well. So where have you been disempowered and drop into fear? I can think of the last few years where we've been disempowered and we potentially have dropped into fear. And the other area where anxiety may reside in the physical body is the lower stomach, which is our sacral center, which is our emotional center. So where are we avoiding feeling our emotions? Because if we keep repressing them, if we keep shutting down our emotions, we will experience anxiety. We will experience fear. We will not trust anything. So the opposite of fear is trust, and they cannot coexist at the same time. So if you are in fear, you are not trusting. And if you are in trust, you are not in fear. And I tell you what, you are fucking free. Free is a state of being. It is a state of being in us. Free is not outside of us. Free is not external to us. It must come from within here first. So if you feel controlled, disempowered, then it's likely that you are residing in fear a lot of the time. I see this with so many clients, and we actually shift anxiety like that really fucking quickly. As long as they go out back into their environment and start to make the changes, they start to have an awareness of what language is running through their mind, and they start to use the tools and techniques that I give them to help them to start practicing self-love, self-empowerment, believing in themselves, trusting in themselves, and therefore trusting in the world around them. There is no pill that can cure you. There isn't. The power is within you. It does not come from outside of you. And I feel like this is where humanity has, we've been led to believe that there are things that can heal us that are outside of us. And, like good health and nutrition, sure, the food, what we consume on our phones, on the TV, all of that stuff does make a difference. But the real cure is in here. It all comes from within. And this is what we're so scared of doing, is going within. We're scared of feeling those emotions. We fear those emotions. And I tell you, when you lie on my table, you don't even necessarily feel some of these emotions, but you feel them releasing from your body. You feel the weight lift off. And it is palatable, and it shifts your timelines. It literally shifts your relationships. I had a message from a client that came on Saturday. I had a message from her this morning. I asked her how she was going. She came in with really blocked up sinuses, blocked up throat. And I said to her, and this is another thing, it's beautiful when people reach out and say, look, I'm actually a bit sick. Are you okay with me coming in? And I'm like 100% yes, because I am well. And I know that what they're experiencing, it's not going to pass over to me, because I don't have what's rocking in their physical body the emotions that are stuck there. Okay, sinuses, feeling unseen. And this was potentially from past experiences and also present. The throat, not expressing herself. Okay, so when she sent me through a message, she said my sinuses and throat have almost completely dissipated in 2 days. 2 days. She had a family dinner and we worked on a relationship with mum. She had a family dinner the next night and she said that she was calm, there was no triggers, the energy was different. And this is because of the work that we did on the table the day before. The emotions that we shifted from her body. I just can't even explain how powerful it really is. So what are you most afraid of? If you really tap into what you're most afraid of and then ask yourself, is it true? Is it true that I should be afraid of that thing? And if it feels really intense in the body, let's release it. Let's come in and release that fear, release that anxiety, release that nervousness, that worry. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's grief. And actually get that sacral chakra unblocked, cleansed, realigned, and flowing. So all of them from above our body, our stellar gateway, our soul star, our causal, our crown, our third eye, our throat, our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral, our root, and our earth star below our feet. All of these energy wheel centers should be flowing in a clockwise position, clockwise flow, and quite often they're not. People come in and I check their chakras first and most of the time they're blocked, and this center is usually very blocked. This center is usually very blocked too, and the root chakra. So if you suffer and are challenged by anxiety, and I know how crippling it can be. It can make us sit in our car and not go anywhere. It can make us not put ourselves out there. It can make us not do the things that we really want to do. It can make us not experience life. It can really hermitize us. But it doesn't have to be that way, and it is a very quick shift. When you take the bold leap and you learn to trust in your emotions, trust in yourself, build this relationship with yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the most powerful relationship you will ever have in your whole and fucking entire life. And until you really tap into that, there's a lot of autopilot going on. A lot. And the only way that we become empowered is by taking our power back. And that comes from going within and feeling and honoring and seeing and releasing. It's not hard either. It's actually quite easy. But you have to release the fear and trust.